Previously, Gabimaru and Sadri found themselves on the deadly island of Shinsenkyo, battling monstrous creatures and their own inner struggles. The quest for the elixir of life continues, and survival demands both strength and sacrifice. Click the first link in the description to watch part 1, and let's dive into part 2 of this perilous journey. Sadri sees through his face that Gabe is trying to change, but his upbringing is preventing him from doing so. Gabe cries and says, "Have I become so weak? If this continues, I will never be able to meet my wife." Sadri says, "Your tears are not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Feeling nothing is equal to death." Gina tells him, "When you listen to your heart, sing Maru. If you regret what you did, don't face the truth, fight for your love. I'm sure you can do it because now you're not singing Maru the hello." On the other hand, Kamiya and his executor see strange sculptures made by humans, and then a worm cuts his hand. And seeing that the mouth of the worm was exactly like a human, Kamiya immediately cuts his hand, after which flowers begin to grow from his severed hand. We are then shown Kamiya's flashback, where he goes to meet a lord at his mansion. The surname of this lord used to be Dragon, so he made a picture of the dragon on the gate, but while talking, the lord jokingly says, "Kamiya, even though you are called the Blade of the Dragon, but you can never kill the real dragon." Angered by this, Kamiya breaks the dragon made of his gate and becomes the enemy of the lord. Then, as a punishment, the lord hands it over to the police, but Kamiya says that once my punishment is forgiven, then I will show him what my true strength is. This time, I will make 2 pieces of his speech directly. After hearing this, Pachi says that it is not my business to understand you. Kamiya says that I should tell you this thing. You have this tool to chase away the corpse. You have strange hobbies, by the way. Tell me one thing. Does killing criminals fill your stomach? In reply, Fuchs says that our job is not only to kill criminals, but we also test weapons and study dead bodies and make medicines from them. If you insult our clans again, I will rip you apart. After walking for a while, Kamiya says that I have an idea why not kill another criminal. Then it will be even easier to find Amrit. But did he know that there are more dangerous things than criminals on this island? On the other hand, the fish-faced monster starts attacking Gabe Maru, but in the counterattack, Gabe Maru breaks his mouth. According to Shinobi's rule number 5, a ninja should never fight unknown enemies. That is why Gabe Mar thinks of running away, but then suddenly he starts throwing here and there by catching the monster Gabe Maru. Not even a scratch had come to Gabe Maru so late, but this monster played its band in jokes and told Gabe Mar Sadri that we have to run away from here. I feel something is not right, but then suddenly, a lot of monsters surround them. That is, now there is only one way to kill or die Gabe Mar a sight blaze and start killing them all. Sadri, on the other hand, seeing this, says in her mind that just a few Palomar, everything turned upside down, this place is finally, was Sadri so lost in her own self that some monsters suddenly catch hold of her feet, and a big monster is about to attack Sadri, but Gabe Mar comes at the same time and saves her, and that's when we see that a fragile bud, like use a relationship. Handsome me needs a hero like you, because we both work together, but Gabe Maru folds his hand and says that this trick of yours will not work on me, which because I'm a ninja too. Sadri asks him, "What are the 2 executors doing with you?" In reply, an executor named Gazi says, "I was with Moro Makia, but this girl betrayed him and killed him. I decided that it is not for an executor to handle this girl, so I'll keep an eye on it now too." Yujiya says that while reaching here, we faced many monsters. This place is very dangerous. We have to find that elixir and get out of this island as soon as possible. Do you say Gabe Maru? But Gabe Maru twists his hand from back and says, "I do not trust this girl at all." The user comes and tells him to trust that we are not small children. Even after finding the nectar, only one of us will be able to be free. So why don't we both use each other till then? Or else it's not like you got scared of me. Gabe Mar, hello Gabe Mar, gets rid of his clutches and asks, "What is my benefit by working with you?" Yujiya says, "You give us your strength, and we will give you information. I'll give you an example. Just as you might think that monsters are the biggest threat to us on this island, but in fact, they are even more dangerous. The insects here whose face is exactly like a human, the amount of poison in their wings is very high, and if they bite you, then your condition will also be exactly like those men. On the other hand, if we talk about these monsters, then you do not need to be afraid of them. They only eat dead people." Gabe Mar asks, "How did you know all these things?" To which Yujiya replies, "I made Makia a goat, did all these experiments on him, and killed him after getting the job done." The executor of the name Santa says the statues we saw on this island and the talisman around the neck of the monsters are very similar to the Buddhist and talismanic culture, and the structure and interior of these monsters is also like a human being. I promise that whatever information I get, I will share it with you all. says Yugia. Gabe Mar asks why you're so desperate to live. Yugia says I don't need a reason to live. I am still beautiful and young. I have to see the whole world now. But maybe you samurai will not understand this thing, who is ready to give his life for a mean shogun. Gabe Maru asks her one last question. Did you really do it with the Moro flies? To which Yugia stares and says, I didn't do anything to her. You should not worry so much about the lives of others. Otherwise Faltu will die while they were talking to each other. Sadri suddenly starts feeling dizzy, and after a while she falls to the ground. Then the scene changes. I feel happy to see the strength of Aja Chobi and Tamana, who are fighting with Munster on each of the cushions because they are actually brothers. Aja Chobi's greatest strength was to adapt to difficult challenges. Even after the passing away of his mother and father in childhood, Aja Chobi never cried. Despite facing dangerous robbers, he took control of them all and became their leader. Despite Shinobi's capture from the samurai, it quickly evaporated the situation and then asked Ma to flee alone so that he could come and rescue her later. So Ma entered the Mata clan and became their official member within a month, after which he rescued his brother Aja Chobi from their clutches, after which we come back to the fight. The number of monsters was increasing, so Aja Cho also tells his brother Toba to run away. But then a monster grabs Ma's hair. Aja Cho also looks at his brother and then runs away from there without helping him. So Ma thinks in his mind that my brother left me alone because I cannot put myself in a difficult situation like him. People like me are a burden on this earth. But then we see that Aja Chobi begins to kill the monsters with their own weapon. That is, Aja Chobi did not leave his brother alone, but he went to find a weapon. But then a monster attacks half of Chobi and says it is a sin to kill. The rest of the monsters also surround them and say that others should not be hurt. I am my own king, and I am my own god. I will do whatever I want. After that, we are shown a flashback of his childhood. These people were originally from a samurai clan, but their lord had committed a crime for which their clan also had to suffer the punishment, and their father was sentenced to death, and after being orphaned, these two were living the life of thieves. Then seeing Ma crying, Aja Chobi says, "Stop crying like girls. If you show your weakness to others, you will be killed. Your brother is still alive. If you go astray, I will show you the right path. Trust me." After this, we come back to the present time, where Aja Chobi says that if there is a monster on this island, then Amrit will also be there. I have thought that both of us will kill all the monsters and criminals together, and then no one will be able to stop us from finding the elixir, and both of us will drink that elixir ourselves. And after that, even Yamraj will not be able to teach us how to live. Sadri, on the other hand, was having a terrible dream where her father was staring at her in a strange way, just like a monster, and then suddenly, Sadri's eyes open. G says you fainted due to insect poison, but there is no need to panic. We're perfectly safe inside this tree. On her way out, Sadri sees Gabe Maru cooking for everyone. Santa is sewing clothes, and Yugia is relaxing. Sadri tells Gabe Mar we shouldn't waste so much time. Quickly find that elixir and get out of here. Gabe Mar says it's the devil's work to hurry. We should save our energy at this time. I have made this food by finding things from the forest. We ninja call it Kika Chukan, but the important thing is that despite searching, I did not find this elixir anywhere when I was looking for things to make food. Then I saw that many flowers have grown on this island, which were on those dead men. Then a question came to my mind. After all, where did the samurai who were sent to this island suddenly disappear? Santa says that we have also seen some strange sculptures on this island, which correspond to Buddhist and tower culture. If it was built by humans, they must have lived here. Sadri says it's impossible. Insects and monsters on this island are dangerous to humans. The ecosystem here is also very poor. Looking at the monster, it seems that an animal's mouth has been put on a human. They have skin, meat, bones, and even internal organs, but surprisingly, they do not have reproductive organs. Santa says you're right. His clothes are also very strange, as if he were some kind of crippled god, far from reality and fantasy, which is very difficult to understand. Hearing this, the villagers said, "The monster without organs that is Nectar will definitely be on this island. Let's find him quickly so that I can be free," says Santa. First, we have to understand the ecosystem of this island, for which we have to first find out where and how the monsters live. This is the right way to find Nectar. After some time, the sun begins to set, and Ganji says to Sadri, "You need to get back on the boat. You're Yama the clan's daughter first, and Sam the clan's daughter later. It's your duty as a woman to marry the next king of the clan. Please listen to me and go back." But Sadri wants to complete this mission as a warrior. Jinj says you don't have the strength to kill Gab Maru. You picked up someone else's sword. A samurai's sword is his pride. You've lost the glory of the female clone from above. You are only skilled in wielding the sword, not in fighting a war. There is a lot of difference between these two things. You are not ready for this island, but then Santa comes and says, "Do you think it will be easy to return?" Not a single samurai sent on the mission returned. I do not think that even with the help of a boat, one can escape from this island. Then the scene changes. On Tenj and Nurugai, who were trying to leave the island with the help of a boat, Nurugai says, "Stupid, all this is of no use. The direction of the wind is reverse. Anyway, if we return alive, they will kill me." Denya says, "Dawn, at worry. I will talk to the shogun and forgive your punishment." And then Tanja sees a very big ship, and when she goes to it, she finds out that there is only a pile of ship's debris. These were the ships which were trying to get out of the island. Between the rubble, they see someone running away. Realizing the danger, Tens pulls out his sword, but it was probably his biggest mistake. The octopus's tactics come out from inside the sea, which break the boat into pieces. To save his life, both of them start running very fast, and Narga thinks in his mind, "By the way, I do not believe in superstition, but am I being punished for my sins?" And only then, we are shown a flashback, where some people holding swords tell Norgai that we have lost our way. "Can you take us to your village?" As a matter of humanity, the Nuru cow agrees to help them, but in reality, these people were the warriors of the shogun's samurai who killed the Adavasis, living far away from the village. These tribes are called Ashi, that is, those who refuse to become slaves of the shogun. The samurai takes Nuru the cow captive to find the location of the rest of the village. Narga starts cursing herself, that it's all because of me, I brought these samurai here, I am the cause of all death. But then Tanja comes and says, "Baby, I can save you. If you complete this mission, the government will forgive you. I don't want a child to die." Narga says in my mind, "What should I do? Live for the villagers, or be punished for my sins?" And only then, the scene shifts. In the present timeline, where they both see an executioner named Kisho, who is a living corpse, the tentacles of the sea monster surround them, and Narga remembers her grandfather after seeing Kisho's corpse, after which he tells Tens, "You run away from here. I understand everything. I am getting the punishment for my sins. In return for killing my grandfather and other villagers, while fighting with the monster, he tells me not to listen to your nonsense. Just tell me whether you want to live or not." He starts remembering the moments spent with his grandfather and cries and says, "I want to live. I want to go back to my village." And then Tens gives him his sword and says, "There is a boat standing there. We have to reach there anyway. Are you ready?" And then they both escape from the monster and go back to the island. The Nuru cow says that the direction of the wind is towards the island from all sides. That is, it is impossible to go from here by buzzing. It seems we're stuck on this island. Tens says that the wreck of the ship has surrounded this island from all sides, but we did not see anything like this while coming. That is, there will be a way to escape from the island. We just have to try to find it. Saying this, both of them start cleaning the blood on themselves, and then Tens realizes that Nuru is not a boy but a girl. After getting dressed, Tens says that before taking any step, we should find other companions. This place is much more dangerous. Don't know how to face monster next Santa, on the other hand, tells Sadri I agree with. Ganji, you should go back, but I also believe that we need you to stop Gabe Maru. I think Gabe Mar has changed more than before, and all this has happened only because of you, so if you stop, I will feel very good. At night, where Gabe was guarding the place, and it was Sadri's turn to keep an eye on the criminal, Gabe tells Mar Sadri that you were affected by the poison of insects because I had hurt you. If possible, forgive me. Hearing this, Sadri realizes that Gabe Mar had been waiting for his recovery for so long. You've helped me a lot to calm down. If I worked in a hurry, I might not be alive yet. I want to live a long life with my wife. If all the ninjas in Iwagakure village try to stop me, this time I will face them instead of running away. Hearing this, Sadri says that you are very strong. You are more powerful than me, especially when I was in jail. I do not know which ghost was inside you at that time. You seem to be more surprised to hear my words. Hearing Gabe Mar's words instills confidence in Sadri. Next morning, Ganji gets ready to take Dadri to the ship, but Sadri says, I will not go back. People think that women are only meant to run the house and give birth. Forget about others. Even my father always looked at me with disappointment, and if I go back today, I will regret it for the rest of my life. Please look at me from a samurai's point of view, rather than a woman's. I don't have much experience, but I don't run away from my responsibility. I want to live life on my own terms, and I'm sure that's what everyone feels, be it a boy or a girl. Please try to understand me. But Jinj does not hear a word of Sadri, and takes out his sword and attacks him. But Sadri takes his sword in the blink of an eye. Angry at this, Ganji says, A stupid samurai's sword is his life. Give me back my sword, but then we see that Rokuro Hota attacks them from behind, due to which Ganji hits the tree. After this, we are shown the flashback of Rokuro Hota's childhood, where he kills not only his parents, but the entire village. The sun is shifting. In the present time, where Ganji's condition had become very bad, it is now impossible for him to survive. As Roku cries and tries to attack Sadri, Gabe Maru kicks him and throws him away. Gabe asks Maru Sadri, "Who is this monster?" "My attack did not affect it at all. Its eyes from above tell that it has found its prey. I guess I don't have a choice. Now I have to end it." But Gabe Mar didn't understand how he would finally defeat it. And that's when he remembered Shinobi's rule number 9. Try to find out the strength and weakness of the enemy standing in front. But then Roku tearfully uproots the whole tree and throws it on top of Gab Mar. Gab Maru Us asks Ria for help, but in response she says, "Your job is to fight, and my job is to find out information, so I can't help you in this fight." Seeing Roku Rota's big hand, Gabe Maru understands that he has to go to him, that is, embrace death, after which Gabe Maru attacks him with stones. But Roku Rota has no effect on him. Gabe Mar uses his clothes like steel blades, but Roku Rota doesn't get a single scratch. On the other hand, Sadri was trying to stop the blood by using a cloth. Gaiji says, "All this is of no use. I am going to die soon. Leave me and go from here." But Sadri refuses to go, because she can't leave her senior alone to die like this. Gaiji says, "You are very strange. A while ago, she was fighting with me like a man, and now she is crying like a girl. Take it. For a warrior, her sword is her life. I am giving my life to you. Rock Rota must have killed him. If you are a warrior, I won't tell you to run away." Sadri Adama Simon grab my sword and sever Rock Rota's head from the torso. After this, the scene shifts on Gabe Mar, who was thinking in his mind that if it was 2 versus 1, maybe I could beat it, and then we see that Sadri cuts off one of Roku Rota's fingers and says that if an attack is made in the gap between 2 human bones, then even the biggest wrestler can be defeated. And so, the battle intensifies as Gabimaru and Sadri face insurmountable odds on this cursed island. With every encounter, their resolve grows stronger, and their true selves begin to surface. Will Gabimaru's ninja instincts and Sadri's unyielding spirit be enough to overcome the horrors of Shinsenkyo? Or will the island's nightmarish inhabitants and their own inner demons consume them? The quest for the elixir of life continues, but the dangers are only just beginning. Stay tuned for the next thrilling chapter where alliances are tested, new secrets are revealed, and the line between life and death grows thinner. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join us on this epic adventure. See you in the next episode.